Okay, it is
Well,
two
when we
o'clock.
start the meeting,
Yes,
let,
it is 2 o'clock right now.
can we,
This is our special meeting for October 12th, 2 p.m. Uh, Purpose of this meeting is the authorization of digital signatures and discussing the direction of Port of Allyn and its current projects and the loss of the executive director, and to discuss the search for a new director, and then delegation of authority and resolution for that. So let's begin. How about if do you want to go ahead and do the authorization of digital signatures? Because that's how we usually
yeah,
sign all our vouchers and all that.
I agree, Commissioner Scott. I'll make a motion to authorize digital signatures for any
Okay,
documents that we have.
do I hear a
yep,
second?
and I'll second that motion to authorize digital signatures.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you. Okay, Leanne, I want to thank you for listing every project that we've been trying to work on. And I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about too is right now we're working with the water system. Been working with Jeff Carey and Debbie Carey about all that. So I think we're getting a handle on that. By the way, I did get a hold of a lawyer that is willing to take a look at the purchase and sale agreement. So just, your information in regard to that. His name is Pete Fraley.
Say it again, name again.
Pete
Pete Fraley.
Fraley.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Freely.
No, it's Fraley.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he gave me a long list of, his credentials and who they work with. They work with a lot of municipalities. So, I'm pretty confident. And I told him, well, we're on a pretty tight budget, so they're going to work with us about, charging us. So I'm hoping that we can work with them. He did want all of the documents previously, but I wasn't sure, if we were going to do that or not yet, because, budget wise, or, but we also want to do due diligence as well. Any thoughts on that, gentlemen?
I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
I think the rest of the board needs to figure out who this. I know a Pete Freely, Freely, but I'm kind of curious why you decided to pick them without consultation with the other port commissioners.
Oh, well, good point, because
And
I think,
don't we already have an attorney on record?
No.
well, it was Tim Schermutzler, but I think, didn't you, Leanne, didn't you tell me that he was not wanting to do that?
Yeah,
No.
he is not our general attorney. He did the letter, and that was all he agreed to do. He's working with Frank Schmelick's firm, and they just, with Frank retiring, they don't have time. So when I helped him last week, he helped me under WPPA. So, because he's one of their associate members, and so that was just a service under WPPA associate member, and he said he can't pick up other projects. So
To clarify, I'm sorry,
well,
Leanne, just to clarify that, basically he's under contract for that other matter, period.
only on what matter, yes.
Right. And we don't need to go there, right?
Yeah.
And
What I
go
did,
ahead.
we were trying to find a water attorney, and I went back to when we had that presentation with the water attorneys for that, for the legal opinion on that matter from a couple of years ago. And so Murphy was one of the presenters, and it was Peter Fraley, so I know he's water. So that was my suggestion, but we haven't retained him yet or anything, so we can we can look farther.
No.
Yeah, Ted, in regard to that too, I wasn't trying to say this is who we're gonna use. It just, again, the backstory was that we needed to have one, so I just reaching out to the only one I knew, so we could have something at least on, to present for you guys to look at and decide.
If
It's a
Leanne
start.
feels comfortable with this gentleman, I'll be happy to retain him. But and I agree, we need to move forward. So
Yeah, and I made no agreements at all anyway. I wouldn't do
Okay.
that because I know that we have to go, it has to be the
Okay.
board's decision, not mine.
I think that if I can make a recommendation that we go ahead with the delegation of authority now, so we can have further discussion on how we're going to go about doing these things. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So has everybody had a chance to take a look at the criteria for the delegation of authority?
Yes.
yes,
Okay,
And that is just, it's the last one we approved for Larry with just a few word changes and dates. So it just says for interim director instead of executive director, but everything else is exactly the same.
So my only question on this,
Resolution.
my only question on this resolution for the commission, and for you, Lan, actually, is how come we don't have your name in this resolution as the interim director that we're getting ready to go down this road?
None of the documents from prior had Larry's name either. So I just kept them all the same and just made sure they were the correct dates and correct terminology.
All right.
I understand what Leanne's saying, and Commissioner Sheridan, even when I was interim police chief, it was always interim police chief. It was never Ted Jackson. So
Yeah, but interim executive director could be anybody. So I'm just wondering where the language is that identifies the motion that I want to make regarding that matter, or for this resolution that connects our last time we met where we agreed on Leanne being the interim, where that language is in here, so there's no question that she's the interim until further notice.
how about if we put in Leanne, if you could, how about if we put Leanne Daniels will be the interim director, and then interim director, we could put her in parentheses, is Leanne Daniels. So
Does a commission, Chairman Scott, does that sound good, or does that make sense?
I don't know if it's really even necessary.
That's what I'm asking. Is it
And I
necessary?
don't mean to, I don't mean to throw water on that, but
Okay.
we know, I think the reason that they do that is just because if you change that document into it and something happens, it's changing. I don't know, really. That's a
Okay.
good question, but
Okay,
because
so-
we know
All
who
right.
our interim is, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. All right. I see. So we've already made a motion and identified Leanne as our interim, and here is the body language of that resolution. So we'll just go with that. It was a curious question to understand it. So, okay. Can I make a motion to approve this resolution, or is there more discussion?
I don't know, Ted, any more thoughts on that? I don't want to.
no, I'm just I'm just looking through paperwork. I'll second the motion.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
let me make the motion and I'll read it. How's that, real quick? Okay.
Yes.
Regarding
you're
our
reading-
Port
you're-
of Allyn resolution,
Yep, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the following resolution and read it for the record. And for resolution number 2023-007, a resolution affirming the executive director's delegation of authority for the year 2023, whereas the Port of Allyn extends the executive director's powers required to administrate the day-to-day business operations of the port and oversee its legal functions and requirements in a document called the delegation of authority. And whereas the power to do is granted by RCW 53.06.010, and whereas the most recent reaffirmation of this delegated authority is dated February 7th, 2022, and the Port Commissioner desire to empower the interim executive director with the authority granted by this document for the year 2023, and therefore it is hereby resolved as follows. The executive director shall continue to administer the day-to-day business operations of the port and oversee its legal functions and requirements as outlined in the Declaration of Authority originally dated February 7th, 2022 for the year 2023. Adopted this 12th day of October 2023. I make a motion we approve this.
I hear a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay,
Now, that brings me to that discussion that I wanted to have with Leanne. I'm not with Leanne, but regarding Leanne now as executive director, with that resolution being passed, we can move forward now, in my opinion, regarding that. So,
yeah, well said.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So that goes to the lawyer issue with the water, back to that conversation. And so Leanne, would you reach out to both Pete Fraley and that other lawyer that you had in mind and give us some feedback on it as the interim director now?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you.
Great.
Okay.
One of the other projects that we need to focus on is the Oyster House, and Leanne is, I had spoken with an engineer about the Oyster House, but then Leanne has also given me some information about that. So I guess my question in regard to that, since we don't, that Leanne is the executive director right now. So Leanne, is that something that you want to try to wrap up? And is there anything that I can do to help facilitate getting that going? Like our emails had said, we're kind of waiting for Holly to make sure how much money we have to go forward with the engineering and implementing that and getting that on board as soon as possible. So is that something that Leanne, you can do? Is there something that I should try to do to help?
Well, I talked to Sean Mayhew yesterday from Geo Engineers, and he's the one doing all of the shore permits. And he said the last thing he was talking about is our shoreline permit had expired. However, Larry had worked with a couple people down at the county. And I think, if I remember right, he was working with Randy for some help. And we just have to provide some documentation as to why it wasn't done by the end of 2022 and why we're doing it now. And I think it's because we thought we had the Army Corps permit, and we didn't. So that threw us off, and then we missed a fish window. So we just need to provide documentation, and I'll talk to Randy about that. And Sean sent me the last emails from the county to Larry, because he was CC'd in on, and advised me to listen to his voicemails, because they've got some voicemails between all of them. So I'll have more contacts. But Sean Mayhew was tremendously helpful yesterday, and if we need to Zoom with him or something, we can do that.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
All of you helped, Judy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really critical so that we understand the process, so we don't get in the weeds again.
Yeah.
Plus, I want to keep, the contractors, if we can get other contractors, I would like to try to get, well, number one, I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse, but also we got to make sure the cart's ready for the horse, right? And so I want to make sure that we can start getting that Oyster House ready to move. And structurally, as some of you see, the windows are getting done, or should be done by now. But I want to make sure we have enough money to get going on that too. Because the more that we do on land is going to be a lot easier for people to access, volunteers to access before we move it.
Okay,
So
because I'm not exactly sure when Ollie's gonna get back, but I'll call Gordon Thomas Honeywell tomorrow, because she did leave some stuff with one of her other gals to help us, and they can tell me exactly when. So I'll just give them a call tomorrow morning.
Great.
All right, cool. Thanks for offering to do whatever you can there, Commissioner Scott. That's really helpful.
You bet.
And that goes, I mean, you're in the weeds on this one, so you know each of the moving parts better than the rest of the two other commissioners. But if there's anything we can do, let Leanne know so that she can reach out to us, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Just so full disclosure here, I hope that I usually try just to lay low on this stuff, but I did put up front money to get the windows done. I'm hoping to get reimbursed. Bonnie has been working on getting the reimbursement. She got a grant for $5,000. So I hope to get that reimbursed. And then there's another, because it was like 15 grand to get the windows done and the structure done. They did a great job, I have to say. They beefed up the whole corner that was falling down. They've made it safe. And so I'm hoping to get reimbursed. If not, then that's okay. They got a donation, but like I said, I don't want to, it's not a, anyway, let's move along as long as it gets done.
Yeah, I don't think any of us knew that. That's pretty darn nice. Okay.
Can we go back to the well?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jeff wants to schedule a meeting the week of the 23rd with him and Jeff, or Jeff and Debbie.
Okay, the problem is we're gonna be at the ports, small ports.
Okay, I'll shoot him an email and let him know that.
So
But
I saw that, I looked at all the emails. So that email had he was being so open and transparent. These are the times that he's got stuff going on, even if that's to be the following week. But the following week is better for me for sure.
Yeah,
And
it would
then,
be for me too.
he has time. The next week is he's got time too based on the schedule he sent us, but he's got some days he can't. So we'll figure that out. If you could reach out, like you said, Leanne, that's awesome.
Okay.
And then but can he still give you that contract? Because that's what he says. He's gonna have it ready on around the 23rd, and you can have that, right? So
yeah, I can.
anyway,
forward it
go
as soon
from
as I
there.
have it. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I have Tuesday, the 24th. Oh yeah, I think we're leaving though. Do you remember when the small ports, does it begin in the morning on Wednesday?
It's a
We
it's a
usually do
25th. It's a 20. Yeah, there you go.
And I think it's just Thursday and Friday. I think
25th to
Wednesday's
27th.
travel day.
So the 25th is a travel day?
The Thursday and Friday of that week.
Yeah, but Wednesday you travel to get
Yeah.
there because it's early in the morning Thursday. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, I have Tuesday available, but that's it. Monday I'm jammed. So I don't know about the rest of you gentlemen, but I could do that. if
Leanne
necessary.
already sent you the dates. After the 30th, it's either going to be up by Zoom at very select times. So
Yeah.
I already sent you the dates.
Okay, well, I'll find out from Jeff if we can just do the next week.
Okay. Okay. We'll make it work.
Yep. What was your other?
And that brings me to Leanne, we're gonna
You got stopped there, John.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
no, I actually stopped because I was what? How do you hear me now?
Good.
I can hear you.
All right. I'm going to say less, but just wanted to say that remaining a strong commission and supporting Leanne in every way we can. We're all going to get through this with the loss of our beloved executive director. Just wanted to make that point.
Thank you. Ted, do you have anything right now? Do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay. Speaking of new director, when I went to the Kitsap, it was the Port of Bremerton public meeting at the Kitsap convention last week, and so I got to see Eric and Mandy and everybody, and so they are willing to help us kind of navigate through some of the process of putting out ads for executive director. So did you have a chance to go through some of our, boy, my brain is kind of a fog here. I'm sorry. You should be on top of it.
Yeah.
To go through any of the job descriptions and priorities so that we can start putting together a list of what we need out of a director and put out the ads for it. Have you guys been able to do any of that yet?
I haven't seen a job description. I see a job analysis, but I haven't seen a job description. So why don't we use the one when Larry was hired? Leanne, we should still have that on file, shouldn't we?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Computer.
our last meeting, we were looking at that, and it's digitally. I guess you could resend it. I have a hard copy.
The only copy I got is duties and responsibilities of executive director.
Yeah,
of the
that's
Board of
pretty
Health.
much it.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
But then we also got from Eric Pitch, WPPA executive director, some other job descriptions for, I think, Port of Benton, and I can't remember the other one, but just to jog our memory as to if there's anything else that we wanted to change.
Yeah, I haven't
And
seen
then,
any of that stuff from Eric, but if you want, once you look at the Port of Orville, they hired a new executive director, and I've been talking to him quite a bit. Look at his
What was
job.
that?
Orville,
Port of Oroville, it's
Oh.
Oroville.
Orville. Oh,
I didn't know they had a port. Oh yeah, I guess they do. So how long was their search and what did they do?
no, they
And
hired
where did they
somebody
post?
they hired somebody that used to be a communications officer with the sheriff's department. So,
Okay.
good person. We can plagiarize or copy any port executive director's job description, and we could add our own, of course, because we're a little unique. But I just don't have. I'm looking through my stacks and going through my emails. I don't have a current job description or analysis to hire somebody. So,
Well, I think that's where, if you don't mind, Ted, maybe we can get a meeting to kind of nail that down a little bit once we kind of get through these weeds on this and kind of decide, how we want to support or divvy up duties or whatever.
you bet.
And then
That'd be great. Bless
let's
you.
work on
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And again, WPPA had offered to put it on their website and then give us guidance as to where to do that.
Excuse
It
me. Now
doesn't get better than that. I mean, for their guidance, WPPA, so I like the idea, Commissioner Jackson, of not just a job description, but and I'll take the liberty. What you mean by analysis is a breakdown for that search and identifying and vetting a future director. Correct? That's what we're looking for here.
correct.
So let's get, if Leanne, like you said, we've already reached out to them. I haven't actually seen that process laid out, but if we can get something from them that just, because I have no shame here in reinventing the wheel, where we can really just track the bouncing ball down a tasking list, if you will, of the things that we should do for Leanne, for that to be prepared for us for the next meeting to go through that and then distribute those responsibilities to help vet that process. That makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get all of the prior advertisements and process that we did when we hired Larry, and then get a hold of Port of Oroville and whatever they did, and WPPA if they have anything like a matrix or something, not just the job descriptions.
Exactly. I mean, we can.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Sherry. Leanne, I think the best thing you could do is just go through WPPA, and they probably seen them all, executive directors come and go, so they should have a pretty good knowledge of what the job descriptions, the budget, the salary, for a port our size. So I think WPPA would be the one-stop store to go to.
Yeah,
It
they've
wouldn't
been
hurt.
very supportive, so.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt, Commissioner Jackson, for to reach out to the Port of Orville, because the WPPA is going to have a great, awesome response to this, but just she can get some personal feedback from somebody who's been through it, as opposed to just having a bullet list of things we should do. Does that make sense?
It does. Yep.
Okay.
Another little item in regard to that. We didn't before, but Bonnie had a matrix when we were hiring executive directors, but I just have to throw this out anyway. Do you want to try to find a quote unquote headhunter, or do you want to have a third party to come and be to help us sort through those?
I don't want to spend the money on a headhunter. I really
don't
don't.
either.
People are already coming to us. I'm sure the other two commissioners, I've been getting calls about 2 or 3 times a week since Larry's passing about people wanting this job. So
Yeah.
I said, once we get the application process going, apply.
Yeah, and I think we're going to find that they're in the mix of this. I agree with Commissioner Jackson here. Is in the mix of this whole thing, we might find that somebody's going to want to give us some of their time that the WPA can recommend to help in this process. I'd like to give you an example. Small Business Association have retired CEOs at the available for anybody who wants to start a small business to kind of work through that process. Well, the WPPA, in the same paralleling that, might have some people that are out there that want to give up some of their time a little bit to guide us along. So,
Okay. Okay. Any other criteria on that you want? So we'll just deal with that the next meeting and keep going on that process. Is that correct?
yeah, I think that Leanne's got her marching orders from a general standpoint on that, and we can do just that. Move forward from here and set up a time to have all that and make some decisions on that process. How's that?
That's good. Leanne, you gave us a list of the current projects. And of course, I don't have that in front of me. So what are we forgetting?
Well, I've got a little list. Let's see. Oh, the Shelton Journal's gonna do an article about Larry. They got a hold of me yesterday. And I gave her links for, I know this isn't the list of things, but, I gave her links for the articles that are already out there. So, because there's some pretty awesome articles out there about Larry, the WPPA one, and then the Kitsap Sun. And then I was thinking, as far as us trying to figure out the funding, and Holly, as soon as she's back, we need to have her Zoom into a meeting with us. And she can help with all the projects that she's helping with, because she's helping with the pier, sergeants, the well. So she pretty much has all of that without me having to backtrack through everything and figure it out. We also have the budget that Larry and I were going to start doing. So I'm
we're
just
actually
going over stuff, that comes under the direction of the port with the loss of the director, but Aaron's gonna step in and help out with that, and we'll figure it out, because that's coming right up. I've already got the budget packet from the county. We're gonna need, and maybe this will be the next meeting, we're gonna need a motion for all of our banking, because Larry's a signer on the accounts and his credit card. And we'll probably have to increase mine, because we still need that spending to be able to book the hotels and whatnot when we do our seminars. And actually Scott's still on Kitsap Bank. We never did a motion to get him on. And then we'll need to have a motion to put whoever you guys on. I think Ted and John need to be added. I think Judy's on there. I could find that out. But that'll be the next meeting. We'll put it on the agenda. Yeah.
is that going to be soon enough? since we're gonna be going to the Chelan small ports. Will that create any trouble?
Well, if it falls under the banking one, if it falls under the direction of the port with, with the boss of Larry, we could do that now. We could make a motion.
Okay,
Yeah, let's get that stuff done. And Leanne, if you could pull up the bank statements. I know Commissioner Sheridan is not available, but we could sign it, get it done. Get these bank accounts, take the ex-commissioner Cooper off, and he's been gone for how many years? So
Right.
let's get that done. Let's clean that up. And all we need
What
is
we'll need is a motion, and then they only accept the approved minutes, so it'll be after the regular meeting when we approve the minutes.
exactly.
That the motion's in, so let's make a
So-
motion for that.
So can we make a motion right now to get you on the account? That's if I understand what you're saying, and the credit card.
I have a
And
credit
make
card,
that
but we
change?
increase the limit.
what kind of motion do you want for
You
sure?
need to increase the limit to what?
Larry's is 5,000. And mine's 1, so the motion would be to increase, the port credit card from 1,000 to 5,000 spending limit. That's one motion.
I disagree. We take Larry off the account.
Okay,
You're the interim director. You would take Larry's spot as director. So then you would take over his 5,000 credit on that account. And
okay,
then
but his name's on the card.
we need to remove all that stuff.
Right,
And then I'll make a motion
okay,
as Leanne Daniels as interim director. She will take over the Larry Capola credit limit of $5,000, and we remove Scott Cooper from any and all accounts at the Port of Allyn.
And add you and John, correct?
take Larry off. The
Correct.
bank, yeah.
So did Larry only have a limit of 1,000? It needs to be changed to 5,000?
Yeah,
No, he had 5, didn't he?
yes,
Oh, we just need you to have the same. Okay, got it.
because I do all the
All right.
reservations and registrations and everything.
Okay. So let me repeat his motion to second that motion. The way I understand it, that, okay, to remove, there's one big motion here. One is to remove Scott Cooper from any and all names attached to any banking, credit card, or etc., and to tag your credit limit to be 5,000 as the executive director, and remove Larry from the record of having those accounts. And I believe that covers it.
And add John and Ted as signers on the bank
Okay.
accounts.
Okay, and I further in that motion to add Commissioner Jackson and myself, John Sheridan, on there. All right.
Okay,
I'll
do I hear a
second that.
second?
I'll
Okay.
second that. And Leanne, you know those documents, we all have to come in and sign them. So, and we'll have to prove, give ID and all that stuff.
Yeah. So that'll be after the next regular meeting.
Okay.
These minutes will have to be approved for the bank to accept them. Yeah.
No,
And,
thank you.
by the and what do we need to do all in favor of there?
Yes,
Sure.
I'm waiting for everybody to be quiet so I can say something.
Okay.
Yes, so the motion has been presented and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Okay, so moved. Speaking of
Leanne,
minutes.
good
Speaking
job,
of minutes, Leanne. Leanne, were minutes, since you weren't there at the last meeting on the 2nd, have you been starting those minutes?
Yeah, I've got a list of 4 minutes to do, and I can do the one I wasn't at by watching the video.
Okay,
Yeah,
all righty, great. Just checking on that one.
yeah. And back to your original question, the projects we're working on, number 1 was well, Sergeant's was next, and the other ones, the pier renovation with, the sea line control also, but getting those pedestals replaced and the whole pier. So those are, let me grab my list.
I have it in front of me.
Oh, do you?
If I
Okay.
could make a suggestion to the other three commissioners, if we just select three off this list, I have my opinions, but
Okay,
well acquisition, Oyster House, and then the rogue fabricators of the Sea Lion deterrent. If we could just focus on those right now, and limit Leanne's time to just focus on these, and that way it focus us three on those three. So
Sure, that's fine with me.
Well, no, I like that, and I was gonna go there before the end of this meeting, just so that we're not all over the place, because we need to get super dialed in and focus on a few things that we need to complete and finish and wrap up. And these are most important of all of them. So I agree with you, Commissioner Jackson.
Great.
okay, and I have a couple other things.
Yes.
I have a gal that can help out in the office, like 4 hours, once or twice a week. And she can do it for about $20. So Erin was 170 last month. So her time isn't, she's pretty quick with what she does. And if I got a little bit of office help, so we have somebody that's familiar with the office, like John was talking about, that won't cost very much. We're still way under what we were paying Sunshine, because she was full time. And then if we want to bump my pay, I'm not taking Larry's pay as far as that's just ridiculous. But we could bump my pay a little bit and we'll still be way less than Sunshine.
I've got that in my notes to bring up, that we need to increase compensation here. And I would like to actually come to that place at our next meeting, when we are dealing with this in more in its fullness, if you will, with our direction, to add that to the agenda, Leanne,
Okay.
for the meeting. Okay.
Yeah,
I've been giving it
along-
some thought, and I want to think about it some more.
yeah, along with the budget too, because if Erin has the budget kind of started or ready, that will help us too. That would be great.
And that brings another question for Erin. Would Erin be prepared at that meeting, since she's present now, to be able to present to us where exactly we're at right now, up to date?
Yeah, and Erin she did the financials for the last 2 months and brought them,
Right.
but she just had to go pick up her son. I'll have her scan them in tomorrow and I'll send them over to you.
Wonderful.
Great.
Okay, cool. Because that's going to be the most telling thing about what they're making the right choices, right, about all this regarding your pay and our projects that we're focused on. So that's cool. Thank you.
And Travis has been really good about offering to help out in the office, and he was here one day before he got sick. So I don't know, we need to work on that a little bit.
Yeah,
So
I
can
was
we
just
have-
gonna say, I really wanted to thank Travis for stepping in and helping in this crisis. And Travis, you've been just golden, so thank you.
I'll continue to be here.
Thank you. And Leanne, would it be possible to invite at our next meeting, since it's all part of the big picture here, the person that that wants to come in, and we can
Absolutely, yeah.
we can ask her questions and be looking at that as a solid direction to support you, right?
Yeah, and I already got her resume. I mean, I could scan that and send it to you too.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Great.
She already works, but she's familiar with the situation, and I trust her immensely, and she's extremely professional.
Okay.
Great. Anything else?
Nope.
Well, we
don't.
kind of hit the highlights of everything. Now we need to get in the weeds. I think the first thing on the agenda is let us know about the lawyer for the water.
Yeah, I'll call them tomorrow.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson, anything
I don't.
that you
no.
want to add?
No, I'm good right now. Thank you. It was a good discussion.
Yeah, I'll just keep you informed with my marching orders here, so we're all working tight.
Okay. Anything else, Commissioner Sheridan?
No, I think we really were on our game here for a short time, so I'm looking forward to getting the direction in the next meeting.
Okay. And everybody's going to the small ports except Ted. You're not going to be able to make it, right?
No, I won't be able to make it. No.
Okay. Public comment now? I have something from Ken Van Buskirk. This is a requested acknowledgement of those concerns from Mr. Van Buskirk in an email today. Commissioners, this is his quote. Commissioners, I have not heard back from you regarding my August 4th email regarding port text message or my email expressing concerns with your August 24th special meeting held in Kitsap County. I know you are extremely busy with your search for an executive director. However, I would appreciate some sort of acknowledgement and resolution. The commissioners have been forwarded these concerns and we're all made aware of the complaints. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Van Buskirk.
Yes, it's noted in the record, and we acknowledge that we've received that communication from them.
Okay. Anything from Travis? You've been pretty quiet.
No, not a lot. Now that I'm can be around people without the fear of the transfer of other things. I will talk with Leanne here in the next few days, come up with a list of options that I can feel comfortable helping the board with. And then she can bring that to you in a organized manner at your next soiree. So that maybe we can figure out what I can and cannot do, and if there's even any operating room for me to be reimbursed for my time for being able to help with it.
Excellent.
But currently already on payroll, it would probably be an easy task, but it's just a matter of whether we've got room for that, because I can probably do a lot when it comes to some of the security concerns that are related to cameras and various things. I might even be able to help with the sea lion problem, to help try to address that, maybe get a handle better on what the individuals are offering to do, maybe get a drawing together so it's a little bit easier for everyone to understand. But between that and I do have that problem boat I'm going to address in the next couple of days, now that I can talk without my voice crackling. So
Okay.
yeah, you'll have a nice little list of my ideas and thoughts that I can give to Leanne, and maybe we can get moving on some of these other things that she doesn't have time to do currently.
I understand. So up and over your regular services, Travis, how much time do you have? And by the way, we really appreciate it. We'd like to extend that appreciation by making it right. It's like, how much time have you spent dealing with these changes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when I got sick, I didn't spend any time with it. I kind of had a sick son as well, so I had to kind of take care of that. But I've only got a couple hours into dealing with things since Larry passed, and helping with extra things beyond what my normal duties are.
All right. And we can cover down on that as part of our next meeting, but I appreciate that.
Yep.
That's food for thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Leanne, thank you so much for stepping up and putting your shoulder to the tasks and everything. And we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Aaron did leave the financials, so I'll scan those in and send them to you and put them on the website.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, anything else? I guess
Nope.
meeting adjourned.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so moved. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You
Thank you.
too.